Hey YouTube, I'm here at the Golden Inca Hotel and I'm gonna go try to find an ATM, so we're gonna see how that goes. So the Golden Inca is right across from the Bacchus processing facility. So we're in a somewhat industrial block. And I think we're supposed to be under lockdown today, but I just had lunch in a restaurant with two cops. So it may be that people are backing off it, or maybe they lifted it and I didn't catch it in the news. But I need to hit an ATM because I'm getting low on soles, and I don't like to be low on soles. Always recommend having some spare cash. You might underestimate how much something costs, or maybe your card gets declined. You need some extra soles. Of course, I'll plan to have. I'll plan to be wrapping up my soles by the time I get ready to head back to the US, so that I'm not carrying a bunch of soles I need to convert or hold on to. Yeah. Currently, it's $1 to around 3.9 soles. So the exchange rate is definitely increasing in my favor. As I've been here, it's improved by several percent. And so that's why it's advantageous for me to have not brought, say, 1,000 US in cash or something, exchange it all at once. Just do it as I need it. I will say it can be hard to gauge budget when you are traveling, because some weeks I need to spend on several things, and other weeks I just end up paying for food and hotel. So that's something to think about. That being said, I will have a rough number that I come up with for a month in Cusco. I can already estimate. I can already estimate how much monthly I'll spend on laundry, how much monthly I'll spend on accommodation, how much monthly I'll spend on food, but also how much I'll spend monthly on my cell phone plan. But there are some other things that are going to be sort of wild cards or outliers, or things that I don't spend on that you do spend on. So I could even talk a little bit about some of the things that I don't buy, or at least not regularly, but that you might spend on. I think the big one would be drinking. I'm just not much of a drinker. And so if you're somebody who does spend more on drinking, then that's going to look a little bit different. So I'm going to try going this direction left here, because last time I tried to find the ATM down here, it took me a while to find. Of course, I'm going to check this one out. This could be one. We'll see. I don't know if it is or not. Yeah, that's not it. So I'm gonna go in this other direction, and we'll walk for a while. I don't see the cops driving around at all today. This is the reason why I'm a fan of sort of being one of those people that I'm a fan of community policing and getting police that actually live in the community to do the work, because they're much more understanding, considerate, compassionate. A lot of these people are having a hard time surviving financially, and one of the only ways that they can get a little edge is working on the weekends. I think that's true for a lot of people, myself included. One of the only ways I feel like I can get ahead is, instead of taking Saturday and Sunday off every weekend, I try to work on most Saturdays and Sundays, at least getting something done and not just doing nothing. And so when you take that away, it really hurts them, because it's not a situation where they just work Monday through Friday. Yeah, so the cops aren't even honking at us or flashing lights. I just need to hit the ATM so I can have cash for tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm not sure what kind of costs I might have, and I don't certainly don't want to run out of Solace and maybe go into a situation where I need to buy something, like say at the pharmacy, or say at the equivalent of Walmart here. Then I can use my credit card. I can use one of my credit cards. That's not a big deal, but I tend to have to pay a fee, and there's no real reason in my mind to pay the fee because it doesn't offset the points that I gain. So I just get cash, and that works out pretty well for me. So hopefully we're coming up on one soon. So this looks like we've got a couple of banks here on the left. That looks like an ATM at CAIXA Cusco. Let's see, I think there is one on the right here, so I don't have to cross the street. That's something to be prepared for here. If you do come to Cusco, is do be prepared for the driving to at times to be a bit hazardous. So there you have it. I hit up the ATM here in Cusco, the BCP Bank. So I'm not certain what BCP stands for. It must be a Latin American bank here. Very efficient service, no line. There was maybe a half dozen machines or close to it that were available for usage. Of course, we are here on a Sunday where things are supposed to be closed down, but naturally they understand people still need to be able to do a lot of different things. So that's been really nice to see that, frankly, more relaxed attitude toward it, because tourists like me, I don't have a kitchen to cook in. And my hotel is not serving, I don't believe that they're serving lunch or dinner. I think they just serve breakfast. So for me, if I wasn't able to go out to eat now on Sundays, I would just have to not eat on Sunday except for breakfast. And that's not really doable or practical. And there's a need there. I need breakfast. I have Solace to spend. And there are local vendors that have food to serve, but they need Solace. But I'm glad to have found it within walking distance of my hotel. I'm going to start heading back there now and share some thoughts. So with that ATM, something that you should think about is that ATMs do have fees, right? So what do I do to minimize how I am affected by fees? Because I'm withdrawing, say, I don't know, $200 at a time. You'd imagine the fees add up really quickly on that. In that case, it was 13.5 soles. And so that's like, let's say, around $4 kind of rounding. And that's just the fee they charge me. That wouldn't be what my institution that doesn't include what my institution would charge me. So the really nice thing that I do is I use the Charles Schwab debit card. And so Schwab, they reimburse me for my foreign ATM fees. So while other people might have to take the hit on that, at the end of my billing cycle, Schwab reimburses me all of those foreign ATM fees. And they give me a pretty good exchange rate too. It varies, of course, based on the standard exchange rate of that day and hour, but it's worth considering them. And I don't believe that I pay a fee for that. I think it's just a standard thing that they do as part of a way to incentivize you to become a customer of theirs. And I'm a very happy customer of theirs. Schwab is really convenient in a lot of ways, and so I highly recommend them if you are a traveler, if you're somebody that's looking to limit your ATM fees, you're going to be traveling for a while. As far as I know, this works in every single country. So I've had my fees reimbursed in Cambodia, I've had my fees reimbursed in Thailand, I've had my fees reimbursed in Colombia, had my fees reimbursed in Peru, I had my fees reimbursed in Singapore and Japan. So that's a half dozen countries, and others as well, but if I just had to think of specific instances where I have a memory of having gone to an ATM in that country, Malaysia as well. So that's going to be something that I highly recommend, not just having an account with them, but also getting that debit card with them, Charles Schwab. And I don't have a referral thing for that. I'm not getting paid for that. It's not sponsored, but I think it's really crucial for people who are serious about traveling and traveling long term and traveling on a consistent basis. So I hope this video has been helpful. Definitely give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you use Schwab, if this video has prompted you to start using Schwab, I'd love to hear what you think. The channel is to get more content like this. You can learn with us, and we're building a great community here, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Goodbye.